Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys. Okay. Um my leg is falling asleep, but this is comfortable. So, link to the original video top of the description. I watched his like trek across the UK, the skinnier part of the UK, but a really good video. You guys said he had a lot of other great videos. I saw this one, I clicked on it. Preemptive like original link to this video from Liam Brown, guys. Top of the description, okay? Go check out the video. And if you think I'm talking too much, click on it. You can go right over there. Let's go. Rating all 15 national parks in the UK. All right, I can't feel my leg.
And while it's still fresh in the memory, I thought, well, recently...
And he seems like just a really good guy, honestly, from what I could tell in the past video.
Recently, I've wild camped in all 15 of the national parks in the UK. And while it's still fresh in the memory, I thought I'd rate them. It's going to go like this then. 15 being the worst, 1 being the best. And when I say worst, I don't mean they were all rubbish, but some were better than others. I've got this. About a year ago or something, I made my own red wine. I bottled it. I did 3 bottles. So I thought, you know what, if I ever hit 100,000 subscribers, 500,000 and 1 million, I'll drink each bottle. And recently the channel hit 100,000 subscribers. There we go. There's the bottle. You can see that. Drink at 100k. Bottled on the 12th of April 2021. Let's get a booze on the go. It's only like 11 a.m. right now, so doesn't matter. I don't know if I'm going to drink all this bottle, but I don't know how to open a bottle of wine, to be honest. Finally got into it. That cork was a pain in the ass. It's still in there. I've just got a hole. Look at this.
All right, guys.
Smells good. A little bit of cork in there, but it'll do. That's all right. Number 15.
Congrats.
The Broads. Right, I want to preface this with, if you're from these areas, and it might be your favourite national park, but this is just my personal opinion, don't take offence to it. So, the Broads.
I don't think I can name a single British national park. I can't name that many American. Well, actually, I think I could. Everglades, Yellowstone, Olympia, Acadia. Maybe I can't name that many. Is Death Valley a national park? Grand Canyon? Did I say that?
It's not, but this is just my personal opinion. Don't take offence to it. So, the Broads National Park in the east of England. Just for me, it wasn't wild. I could leave it at that, but I'll go into more detail. Just getting there, I had 3 places in mind that I wanted to camp, and all 3 were a no-go because of how close it was to houses. It was really just, yeah, you were so close to people, and it just wasn't wild at all. Just getting there, you go through a lot of towns, villages. So that alone kind of, yeah, for me it was a no-go really. I did it. I got to the Broad. I think it's called Little Ormsby Broad, on this decking, like where you could, I think it's like a bird watching post. You could I set my bivy bag up, camped under the stars. I had a good sleep actually, but it wasn't very wild. It's not what you'd imagine a national park to be, but
Understood.
The food I cooked, it was local turkey and asparagus, if I remember correctly. And
Love asparagus.
Nice. But yeah, the location alone wasn't great, so that's why it's last. 14 is the New Forest National Park. It was only established as a national park pretty recently, actually, so it's not very wild. And this is why the New Forest and the Broads are kind of last, because it's just not that wild and you're close to the communities. But it was beautiful in its own right. Ancient forest, trees a few hundred years old. So you're walking through, you can hear the birds chirping. It was amazing in that sense. I cooked Hampshire haslet, which is like a meatloaf, and some local watercress. It was really nice, actually, that. I'm going to try it again, but the place I set up...
South Coast on the English Channel. And I get what he means. Sorry, like, when you think of it, you're going to a national park, you picture somewhere that's out of the way, and you're going to go through a lot of sparsely populated areas before you even reach the park. And so being around, it's not, even if it's a beautiful place, it's going to take away some of the charm, I guess. I get it. What he means.
I cooked Hampshire haslet, which is like a meatloaf, and some local watercress. It was really nice, actually, that. I'm going to try it again, but the place I set up my camp, it was under this nice old oak tree, and I'd definitely go again, but because of just how non-wild it was, that's why it's 14.
Guys, question. And by the way, it was a really cool, interesting, idea to save different bottles that he made his own wine and have it for different milestones in his channel. But so are you telling me I can just, maybe you can do this here too, but even like sleeping in your car sort of feels like, am I allowed to do this? So I can just go here with my own tent and just find a place. Don't have to talk. Don't have to ask permission or buy some tickets. Or maybe you do to enter the park. And then you can just find your own place. That seems really cool and easy.
I'd definitely go again, but because of just how non-wild it was, that's why it's 14. 13. It's going to rile up some of the Yorkshire people. But the Yorkshire moors, it's just really...
I'm laughing because of I remember him saying in the video of the only video I watched of him, a few days ago, of him traveling across northern UK from Irish Sea to North Sea. And that was definitely the one part you could visibly tell he was kind of struggling and sort of over it. But then he kind of had a new kind of surge of happiness, and so it seemed like it made it even better. But yeah, not a surprise.
Really bleak. Yorkshire
that he
people.
chose this as 13.
But the Yorkshire moors, it's just really bleak. I could probably leave it at that. I think me and Yorkshire just don't get on. Plus, my jet boil, that's when it broke, and I think it was called Monday hash or Sunday hash, I think it's called, like corned beef with some potatoes. It was going to be nice, but my gas broke, so I had to eat it cold. And it was just like, But Yorkshire, it's nice in parts, but a lot of it is very bleak when you're on top of the hills.
Guys.
So yeah, we just don't get on, me in Yorkshire. So this one really.
So this is kind of unrelated, but not really. Just it made me think of it when he said, such a bleak, the Yorkshire moors being very bleak, and same thing. I guess there was this like something called prairie sickness, or like prairie madness or something, where a lot of settlers, when they pushed west, as America was manifesting destiny, just pushing west and west. And as people in the middle, I've never been to the Great Plains in my life. I've been to some states in the West and a lot of states in the East, obviously, but I've never physically been, even in a car, in the middle. So, but there used to be this thing where back in, late 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, where you couldn't really communicate. And in the middle of the U.S., take the Yorkshire moors and just multiply the area by like 1,000. And instead of hills and that, this texture, where is it?
I think it's just really bleak.
Like, I get what he means by bleak, but like, imagine just everything's perfectly flat and it's just kind of desert or just grass forever. And the prairie sickness, I'm talking too much here about something not even really related. I'll spit it out. Like, people would go insane when they lived on prairies, like in that area and on farmland, because even your next door neighbor is like miles away, and there's not much communication. It's not like they have television, radio, and so they would just go insane. Then that's horrifying. You're in a place that's just so bleak and everything just looks the same, and it's flat and everywhere for miles, and they would just go nuts. Sorry, and that's a terrifying thought to me. That's it.
I could probably leave it at that.
All right.
My Yorkshire, it's nice in both. Yeah, we just don't get on me in Yorkshire. So this one really doesn't justify being 12, but the other 1 to 11 were kind of better than it. So this is, I mean, it doesn't really justify being there, but it is Dartmoor. It's everything you want in a wild camp. It's out of the way, it's nice, it's wild, there are roaming ponies around, you know. But when the weather turns, it can be quite bleak, and it's quite similar to the Yorkshire Moors in that sense. Lots of history, you know, like Iron Age, burial mounds, all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, a positive, I cooked cider chicken, and that was one of the best dishes I cooked. Oh, it was great. And I had a good beer as well. And cider as well. Yeah, cider I had as well, which was nice. The place I camped was good. I had lots of cattle around me, but for its bleakness and 1 to number 11, slightly better than it. Number 11 is Northumberland, and this one would be amazing in summer like now, but it was really cold that day. So what I did, I think I parked on a main road and I trekked about 4 miles over a few farmers' fences, and if I remember correctly, I got to a rocky outcrop and I just camped inside of it. It was amazing. I made a campfire, just watched the sunset. I think it was a local delicacy. I'd never had it before, heard of it, but it's peas pudding and ham stotties. They were really nice. Like, if you watched a football game on a cold day with one of them, oh, it'd be amazing. So I'd probably try that again. That is one of them, though, where it's, yeah, really, really out the way. It was on the way to Scotland. It straddles the border, some of it.
I was going to ask.
It's a good one.
You said Northumberland, did you say?
If I had to rate it, I'd give it a good 7.5. Number 10 is Exmoor National Park, and this one was really good. I enjoyed it, but the others were better. So, it was amazing. The place I camped, it was great. The contrast of the blue sky, the heather brush, and the roaming local ponies. There was just this black one that came slowly and just stopped right in the middle of my screen. I was like, this is the perfect shot, I have to get it, and I did, and it was just great. The hill, I watched the sunrise, sunset, amazing. And yeah, relatively wild, out of the way. I think I seen like 1 or 2 on the way there. I'd go again for sure, but that's Exmoor. At number 9 is a South Downs National Park, and this was just brilliant. I had the lighthouse behind me, next to the cliffs, with the English Channel behind me.
Sitting on the edge?
Beautiful, beautiful. One of the problems is it's pretty busy. You had Eastbourne.
I'm so lame, Jesus. Be careful.
One of the problems is it's pretty busy. You had Eastbourne one way, which is quite a busy coastal town, and you got Brighton, which is a quite busy small town / city. So it was really busy. There was a coastal road along it, and there was lots of cars and vans parked up, so I had to set my tent up late. Other than that, it was beautiful, really nice along the South Downs way. I'd definitely go again. I got a bit of flack for it in the papers, in the news anyway. It's because I camped like right, it's called Beachy Head, and it's a massive, one of the biggest chalk cliffs in the UK, I think, and I camped right next to it. Got a bit of flack, but other than that, it was beautiful. At number 8 is the Yorkshire Dales, and I live pretty close to the Yorkshire Dales. I really enjoy it. It's quite similar.
Well, flack because they were, it's dangerous. You might fall over.
Camped right next to it. Got a bit of flack, but other than that, it was beautiful. At number 8 is the Yorkshire Dales, and I live pretty close to the Yorkshire Dales. I really enjoy it. It's quite similar to the Peak District in that sense. It's in parts wild, in others quite not really. You go through nice little villages, just, like the old brick villages, really nice. Where I camped was at the bottom of a valley with a little stream going through it. Oh, it was really nice. I like that, actually. That was the second wild camp. And I was just starting out. It wasn't even supposed to be a series or anything. I was just, I'll go to the Yorkshire Dales and camp. But it kind of sparked it after that video. That was it. That's when I decided to do the 15. But yeah, fond memories of the Yorkshire Dales. I like it. I think I cooked a steak and some broccoli. At that point, I didn't actually think to cook a local dish or anything or have a local beer. It was just, I'll cook anything. But after that, I think someone left a comment in one of the videos saying, I wish I could remember who it was because thank you. It sparked such a good idea. So whoever it was, thank you for that. But Yorkshire Dales, love it. I'll go again. Number 7 is the Peak District. And Peak District is, I'm literally here right now in the Peak District where it all started. All this series started right, not in this location, but I don't know if you can see, right, where are we, where are we going? Up there, on top of that ridge up there. That's where the series started. And
I know.
Yeah, I love the Peak District. It's got...
I'm just assuming that's why they call it the Peak District.
Where the series started.
Peat moss?
And yeah, I love the Peak District. It's not the biggest hills or anything. It's not the wildest, but it's my local and it has to be relatively up there. It's just nice, really nice. If you've never been to Peak District, try it out. I camped next to I think it's called Shining Tor, and I camped next to a dry stone wall because bearing in mind it's January in the UK, freezing cold, so it was about -2, -3 that night. I had all my warm gear on. It was good. I think I cooked my special ramen noodle. I added some like chili, ginger, garlic to it, spicy sauce. Oh, fond memories of that video. That was good. I love the Peak District. Some good wine. I'm feeling a bit drunk, I'm not gonna lie. So, we'll get down to the good ones now. Number 6, Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park. So this is the first one I did in Scotland. And as you can imagine, yeah, Scotland is out of this world. I didn't experience any of the midges. I went in June. I should have been eaten alive, but I wasn't. I camped next to this little stream. You had Loch Lomond behind me on the hiking. Wow, absolutely amazing. The hill was kind of like that. I was a bit tired afterwards, but I set up camp next to the stream, the sound of the water. I slept like a baby, and that's when I had my haggis, neeps and tatties, the local dish, with some Scottish shortbread. Oh, amazing. Thinking about it, I should probably put this higher, but it's at number 6, and I love Loch Lomond. I'd probably go again. Number 5 is the Brecon Beacons.
I want to say Scotland does look amazing from the wild videos I've watched similar to this. It just seems like a different sort of landscape from England, though it's not very far away. It definitely just has a different aura to it. I guess that makes sense.
And this is beautiful. I'm going to probably go again. Number 5 is the Brecon Beacons in Wales, and this was beautiful. Camped just above a lake. I think it was called Linny Fan Fac.
That sky.
I can't pronounce it, I'm not Welsh.
What did he say?
Lake. I think it was called Linny Fan Fac. I can't pronounce it, I'm not Welsh, but beautiful. Definitely go again. I seen 1 or 2 people on the way in. Quite a big trek in. Just, yeah, I wish I could go back. I had Welsh rarebit, one of the local dishes, of a nice beer it was. Yeah, what a place. I love the Brecon Beacons. It's so wild but accessible, which is important.
I haven't seen much of videos of Wales, but most of what I just picture when I think of Wales is due to the looking at topography maps, and it just seems like Wales is very mountainous. I know you guys don't have too many high mountains in Britain, but it definitely looks like the most mountainous area of British Isles that I can tell. I don't know if that's true, but
definitely go again. Number 4 is Snowdonia in Wales. So you
sounds
got 2
familiar.
Welsh right next to each other, and it's just because it's so wild. The trekking for the Snowdonia was insane. I fell through lots of bogs. That was the most eventful hike towards my wild camping location. I don't know if you remember it. You can go watch it back. But I fell. There was this bog. Luckily, I set my camera up to catch it. I was like, all right, this looks sketchy. In case I fall into a bog and drown and die, I'm going to set it up just so people know what happened.
I thought he meant it'd be good content. It looks like I might fall. No.
So I set it up and I was just like right up to my thighs in just crap. I was soaked for hours after that, but I got to this. It was an old logging route. Went around and it was this beautiful, picturesque lake. And
Is this Earth? It looks like Lord of the Rings, like stuff Frodo and Gollum and Sam marched through. This is unreal. Looks like a different planet. This.
that was amazing. The only downside, my gas broke, so it wasn't a downside. It actually turned into a massive positive, and I'm so glad it happened. I made just a fire. I cooked some local Welsh, I think it was lamb steaks with some leeks. And I think I had some Welsh cakes afterwards, and it was just beautiful. Cooked it on the campfire.
I like to try lamb.
Amazing. We're on to the top 3. I'm going to refill this, actually.
Drink the whole thing.
We've got enough of it. The Lake District is at number 3, and this was just after Storm Eunice, and it happened in, when was it? January, February this year, 2022. Just all over the UK. It was quite a bad one. And the day after, I had ants in my pants. I just needed to get out, and I was just like, you know what? Let's go to the Lake District. And it just snowed. It was such a cold couple days that was.
I wish ants in your pants. He needs to get out. I need a lot of ants in my pants to get out, and I need to not. I'm getting too comfortable with I'm getting too comfortable with being comfortable, like where I am, and it's not good. It's great at first, but then like sometimes I just like I want to go be uncomfortable, and oh God, this isn't a therapy discussion, all right?
And I was just like, you know what? Let's go to the Lake District. I had ants in my pants.
But him just saying that, and like he has like he just goes and does it.
Needed to get out, and I was just like, you know what? Let's go to the Lake District. And it just snowed. It was such a cold couple days that was. So I got up into the lakes. And I couldn't really make out where I wanted to camp because it was just full of snow, and I couldn't tell, what the terrain was like. So I just set up on top of this hill, and what a view it was, just beautiful. So I think I cooked Cumberland sausage, which is like a local sausage with some mash and onion gravy. Bangers and mash it is, if you don't know what that is. And just a nice, I think it was a beer. Yeah, the lake's beautiful. A nice snowy day. It looked great on camera. Just editing it.
A bear? Oh, a beer.
If you don't know what that is. And just a nice, I think it was a beer.
He sounded very like an American saying bear, Beer, bear. That's another thing, is that nothing can kill you in the UK. Well, something I'm sure if like you get kicked in the head by some deer, unfortunately, yeah. But like, obviously if you go further out west, it gets more dangerous in terms of wildlife. But not like there's dangerous stuff in Rhode Island, but if you go up north towards Canada, like I've seen black bears and moose. Moose are huge. Moosei, huge, biggest animal I've ever seen in the wild. And it was like 6 years ago. No, not 6 years ago, like 3 years ago, max. I've said this before, I think, in a video, but this thing. We were in a campsite, and it was pretty remote. Like, I remember, like, you're already in very... Northern Maine is very... There's no people. There's more moose than people, right? In Northern Maine. Nobody lives there, okay? Except a few people. And so I just remember seeing a female moose first when we were driving in during the daytime, and she was like underneath a little bridge drinking water from a stream. It was big, obviously. But then we saw a male moose a bit later. We were setting up tent, and it was kind of twilight, like not dark, but and this thing I just see just like gallops like 3 times. It doesn't look like it's struggling. It's just kind of like galloping casually, and it went so far. It like it's huge. And then you have black bears. But like out in Alaska or out west, northwest, there's a lot of stuff there that can just eat you. Grizzly bears mainly, I'd say. But yeah, here you don't have to worry at least about animals killing you.
Yeah, the lake's beautiful. A nice snowy day. It looked great on camera. Just editing it, I really enjoyed doing that. Number 2, should we get the drum roll going? So, it is the cairngorms, and I just want to say, if you live in Scotland, you're so lucky. You have the cairngorms, Loch Lomond and the Trossachs, plus Ben Nevis, and all the other wild stuff. You're pretty lucky. But this was amazing. I mean, it was along a
I want to go to
trail
Scotland
for 3 or 4 miles.
I gotta shut up. I'm getting too excited.
I mean, it was along an old logging trail for 3 or 4 miles, and out of nowhere, this green loch, or I think they call it a lochan because it's a small loch, an emerald green, just beautiful. It was quite overcast like it is today, but if it was really sunny, you would have seen all the way through that, and it just would have been beautiful. So yeah, over that, I was quite stubborn because at the end of the Lochan, there was the beach where I wanted to camp, and I was so stubborn. I said to myself, I am camping there no matter what, and the wind was just pounding, so I had to prop my tent up with rocks and everything. Other than that, great. I had a good sleep. I had an extravaganza of Scottish snacks and food, so I don't know, where do I start? Scotch cakes, iron brew. What else? Come on, I mean, there's so many others. Go watch it, but it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Before we get into number 1, I'm going to finish this.
Just want to say, once that freezes over, that would be an ideal pond to skate on. Very ideal. Do the Scottish not call these ponds? They're a lochlan, like a small lake, lochlan.
Today.
All right.
I'm going to finish this. I enjoyed that. I'm officially drunk though. 11 a.m. So, what a place this was. Pembrokeshire coast. So the national park is the actual coastal area of Pembrokeshire. So that's when I said, there was a few comments saying there are so many other national parks next to the coast. I agree, but the National Park of Pembrokeshire is the actual coast, not the land, if you know what I mean. So that's why I said that. But it was beautiful. Our camp's on the cliffs next to the ocean. It was amazing. This is when, if you're from the UK, when the seasons change, it was definitely bitterly cold from January to kind of middle of March, Aprilish, and this is when I realised it started getting warmer, and I could sleep without any warm kit on. It was beautiful. So I just woke up that morning and where do I start? So I got there along the beach, a beautiful day it was, along the beach, along the coastal path, and then I was greeted by some goats. I don't know where they came from. This must be a local farmer, but they were just following me around. The nicest placid goats you'll ever meet. I could stroke them. They just wanted some water and food, so they'd follow me. I set up. They went off on the cliffs just grazing, and then when I started cooking my local mussels and cream with a bit like a French baguette, so I was eating and they came over and wanted some of that, so I just fed them a little bit. It was great, yeah. So I made some friends there with some local goats, and they started wrecking the tent. But what a beautiful place that was. I'm definitely going again. Pembrokeshire. Enjoyed it. that's the 15 national parks in the UK done in the space of like 6 months, which is pretty good going. On to the next thing then, I suppose.
That was really good, and it was great, advertising for other videos that I really want to watch now. Hope he's okay with me watching these. It seems like all around just a really good guy, and I don't mean that in like calling someone a good guy can be like sometimes a genuine. It just seems like a great person, and I'm glad that they were kind of spread around. That the top 10 weren't just like in Scotland or all of them. There were some in Wales, Northern England, Southern England, Scotland, obviously. Yeah, just it makes me a little antsy. What he said about the ants in his pants just kind of hit me.
What's my
Yeah, I really admire people like this who just go, It's a really interesting video. Love y'all. Hope you guys are all doing well. Would appreciate any comments if you've been to any places, any of these national parks in UK or anywhere else around Europe, USA. And if you disagree or agree or think something was left out. I mean, these are that he's been to, and it's his personal opinion. So it's not like you can say like, "Oh, that's wrong." And I'm sure a lot of a person's personal rating is going to depend on their experience. I'm sure, like if you had food poisoning, if you were at a place, you'd probably not rank that place really high, even though it objectively might be that. So thanks, guys, for watching along with me. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.